So, Ohana, everyone else. As a healer, it's so easy. It's not so easy. It's so familiar, so patterned to bypass, to take care of others. And the ones that I fail the most, if I fail anyone, it's always going to be first myself, and then my beloved, and then my family, and then the families that ripple out, because those are the ones I spend the most time with, have the most connection with, and have the least amount of power to use some of the gifts with. And so I fail them. And I say that because it's so easy to bypass, to override that, and to ignore it and spend more time focusing on others. And I just had my own ceremony a couple days ago and had two amazing, like the best facilitators. And in a way, I could say I destroyed them. In a way, we're learning from each other. In a way, we're allies, and being able to witness them and how much they were willing to do for me, give for me, and then in a way, what cost them in that was a contrast to remind me. And I just finished singing the song The Rose to myself, and it was such a memory of me being a kid. And I think it was Bette Midler on the Oprah Winfrey show singing it live, and I brought the tape recorder up to it just to be able to record it because it just had such an impact. Just from singing it again, just the tears that came through, and I could see that there's that lie. I could blame and judge others. Oh, I can't believe they did that. And I was like, even just last night, I made a choice which in a way failed my beloved. And I was like, it's so much easier to override myself for others and then not to do that for my own family. And then what are the choices that led up to that choice? And how can I see it differently? And how can I learn from it? Because I don't want to keep repeating that. And it's painful on all sides. And it's easier to just ignore that that happened, to pretend it didn't, to explain it away, to justify it away, to be like, no, that was my fault. No. And it's like, I played my part. I played my part perfectly. And those are the traps, the prisons that I can still create for myself. And I say that because I know that having had this experience, the other thing was, I was like, oh, my ceremonies are nowhere nearly as good as this one that was just held. And it's like, oh, the whole point of this is to keep being able to hold more and more impeccable space, more and more brilliant spaces, more and more being able to see and hear and trust my own capacity, to stretch my own boundaries. And how important is it to keep doing this work, to receive, to really receive? And the words that I've used are radical selfishness. And there's new terms coming out of it, but that's the thing. It's being able to actually be selfish. I took time to myself, and today, my body is hurting so much. There's so many aches and pains. It'll take time, and I'll have to be a little bit more selfish, a little bit more discerning. What is it that I'm ready for? I can't just try to do everything. Yesterday, on my recovery day, I felt good enough to do things like go to Costco to pick some stuff up, go out, take care of these things. And it's like my body's running. It would have been better if you'd done less than you think you could have in order to recover more than you think you should. It would have been better if you'd done less than you think you could have to recover more than you think you should. And that's a reminder for my clients as well, because they're going to come out and they're going to be like, I feel good. And in that feeling good, what do you do with it? And I remember the other day, one of my clients said, well, with all that extra energy and vitality, I gotta keep myself busy. It's like, that is the least thing. And yesterday I had asked for a practice to help me to remember all this, and I don't even remember what it was. And so I'm glad I record everything, and I'm going to go back to the recordings and try to take a look and learn a little bit more. And it's scary to watch my own recordings because some of the things that I say to myself are challenging. One of the things I remember right now is that it's such an epidemic of healthcare practitioners killing themselves. And I'm like, physician, heal thyself. And one of the greatest lessons for me to remind me is learning, how do I heal myself? And then how do I learn how to receive healing? And how do I keep making that the priority focus? Because if I am diseased, if I am sick, if I am ignoring, if I am overriding, then what I'm providing for others most likely isn't the best version, or is not the clearest version of the healing I could actually be doing, or the messages I could be sending. And what am I ignoring? What am I overriding? What am I not making direct? Because often, if I'm trying to do so much work, it's because somehow I think I need to do more to save the world, or I need to do more to make the money, to do the da 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 da, as opposed to directly being like, okay, where am I lacking in the financial safety, the wealth? Where am I lacking in my self-worth and not enough that I feel like I can save the world? Because over and over again, every ceremony, I'm reminded everything is perfect, and I've experienced everything. And how do I let go of trying to especially control life or death? Like there's that piece there, knowing that it's letting it go and just trusting the flow. I release control and surrender to the flow. And so all of these messages, there's so many more. I'm recording this a little bit. I'm going to send this to my dear friend TK. And it's just getting clearer and clearer on these different messages that are coming through. And getting clearer and clearer that I have protocols that are developing. They're not the right protocols. I'm not here for everyone. I'll probably be doing like one group of ceremonies a month at most right now, because it's the time between the time of learning, the time of resetting, the time of recovery, the time of taking time to say, how would I want to do that differently or better? How do I want to refine what's already being done? How do I want to ensure that people are held well? And it's not my job to take care of everybody and baby them. And anyone who's been through what I've done, I want to make sure they are well cared for. And I want to be really clear how I'm going to get more and more clear who are the ones that I really want to work with. Because that's what I'm trying to teach other healers. Don't try to take everyone on. Because some people, takes a lot more. And it actually minimizes the efficiency and the effectiveness of us when we try to take it too much. So, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, sunshine. Thank you, singing. Thank you, life. Thank you to my dear healers. Thank you to my team. I realize how good I have finding to keep refining the clarity of the message, because that's the piece. And one thing I might be doing is partnering with people who are already influencers so I can help them refine their message so they can be the influencers and I can be me, because I don't need to be such a big face right now. And I realize that's a part of it, right? It's one of the things that my beloved's really inviting me to. Is like, how can I make my impact without having to make myself more vulnerable to a wider world who doesn't need to receive that from me? So we'll play with that a little bit and talk about that a little bit more too. Ciao for now.